this message to you. Kí lẹ fẹ́ kí Ọ̀ṣun ṣe? A ní pé àti endorse yín kí ló dé? Kí ló dé? Tó fi pa wá. Kí ló dé?
But you have one single account, Sheung, one single account, taking 962 salaries per month.
All those killings because you want to get to power. I told my people, don't do anything. God will answer them. And God has already begun to answer them. Because we are here to serve.
We're on here for one reason. It's for the executive governor of Osun State.
Because it doesn't, it's my brother. Shege is saying, there's no meaning, but it doesn't have the capacity to think through. Hey, I love you. That's all.
So, right now, as I speak, Osun State is on fire. The legs of Davido's uncle is shaky. When I say shaky, believe me, it is shaky. It is shaky. Tension. And why is this happening? Well, you all know Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a special interest in Osun State. One might even ask, where is Bola Ahmed Tinubu from? What state is Bola Ahmed Tinubu from? Why does he have interest in Osun State? Why does he have interest in Osun State? We all know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu got adopted and he has a special interest. Yes, he has a special interest in the original state that he is from. Some might not really get what this is to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but I need you to know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from Iragbiji in Borikpe local government area, and that is in Osun State. So it is important that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this is something that he wants to do. It is important that he takes over Osun State and Osun State becomes APC. That is what it is, for real. So the legs of Davido's uncle is shaky. He will fight to finish, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also ready.
You are aware of constant police raids and arrests of ACOT leaders for no reason and without any warrant of arrest. Several ACOT members have been killed and 60 ACOT members have been arrested and taken to Abuja and detained without any charges. All this intimidation and attacks were carried out on the order of Boyega Oyetola over an election his candidate cannot win. As if all this were not enough, this morning we received a letter from our banker forwarding a letter from the Efcc instructing the bank to freeze Osun State government account. This action was taken without any court order. We are supposed to be in democracy, where the rule of law must always prevail. We will therefore not accept any situation where federal agencies trample on the constitutional right of subnational governments.
But you have one single account, Sheung, one single account, taking 962 salaries per month. One single account linked to only one BVN and one name and one bank account. taking 962. In fact, there was a particular account that had 5,615 salaries going into it every month. I suppose when you have such things, there automatically should be checks and balances on ground. In other words, red flags should have gone up and what have you, but nobody did anything. The Ministry of Finance is there. They should be the ones superintending on payroll. The Office of the Accountant General is there. The Office of the Human Resources is there. How would you look at people getting paid? You know, some get double,
Ms. Osun,
triple.
quickly, Ms. Osun, these are really worrying because about a billion naira is being lost in Osun State due to this payroll fraud, as you have discovered in these forensic audits.
Wilson, why did EFCC freeze these accounts some days to elections? What transpired?
Well, thank you, Rufai, for that question. As we indicated in the statement released by the Commission, we took that step to preserve the account of the Osun State government. We observed in the past 1 week that activities on that account look suspicious. And based on the mandate of the Commission, we took that step of placing a restriction order on that account to preserve that account. That restriction order does not mean that all the accounts of Osun State has been frozen. No, it is just a targeted restriction on one account of Osun State government. The essence, like I said, is just to preserve that account because we observe suspicious activities on that account in terms of transfer of funds to a number of entities within 1 week. And so we have to take that decision to place a restriction order on that account, not minding the fact that there is an election process in place. We have a responsibility under the law to do so, because if we don't take that step and, for instance, funds are looted from the account of Osun State government, I'm sure Nigerian public will also ask, where was the EFCC when those funds were being moved? So we have to take a preventive action in placing that restriction order to preserve the money in the account. It does not stop the Osun State from running the government of for Osun State government from running the government of the state, because they have access to other funds in the other accounts that they have. In any case, the running of the payment of salaries and other expenditure by state government happens just once in a month. And what we have done is not a blanket freezing of the account, it's just targeted freezing. And once we are satisfied that activities on that account are no longer suspicious, it will be lifted. And a number of people have asked the question whether the Commission has power to do so under the law. I can assure you that we have powers to place temporary restriction on an account. Section 34 of the Efcc Act and Section 7, subsection 6 of the Money Laundering Provision Act 2022 give us that authority to take that step. And that the restriction order can last within 72 hours before we can come with a court order if we need to provide a court order.
This is a threat to democracy. If we all keep quiet and allow this illegality, very soon, whatever is left of our democracy will be fully eroded. All I ask is for the EFCC chairman to explain to the good people of Osun State and to the Nigerians in general why he froze Osun State government account and show proof to support whatever reason he presents. These and all other illegalities being visited on Osun says is turning our democracy into a huge joke. I am instructed by Attorney General to challenge this illegality at the Federal High Court, Osogbo. As for me, we are pushing ahead with our campaign. And I know by the special grace of God, we shall overcome. Thank you.
We're on here for one reason. It's for the executive governor of Osun State, the only chief security officer of Osun State. One of the best, if not the best governor to ever have ruled this state. We have our projects to show for it. We have our integrity to show for it. And we have our diligence to show for it. But I did feel it was very important for, us as the youth campaign mobilization team, to assure our people, our own demographic, which is the youths, of our views on the forthcoming election. I speak to you today, not just as Davido, but as one of your own, as a voice for our people. I understand the tension and emotion surrounding this election, but I urge everyone to remain calm. Very important. We've been calm for how long? We might as well stay on this, our train. It has never affected anything. Don't forget, we've won this thing twice before. No shaking. We've won it twice before, and we're going to win it again for the third time, by the grace of God. Let us reject violence. I'll say it again. Let us reject violence, intimidation, provocation, and most importantly, destruction. To every person in Osun, come out and exercise your right to vote. Do not be afraid or intimidated. Your vote is your voice, and your choice must be respected. I'll say it again. Your choice must be respected. There's no two ways about it. Let us show the world that Osun people are not only peaceful, courageous, determined to build a better future for the state. And to our daddy from Imo State, I say this with respect, sir. I have heard rumors suggesting that there are moves to interfere in the Osun State election, or use the state as a political battleground to prove a point. I do not present these claims as facts, but I appeal to you, sir, to use your influence to promote peace and allow the people of Osun choose their candidates freely. We have mutual connections, and I have a deep connection to Imo State. My wife, Chioma, is from the state, which makes this appeal more sincere. Please, let Osun remain peaceful. We say it again, please, let Osun remain peaceful. One more time, let Osun remain peaceful. Thank you. Let's allow democracy take its course and let the people decide. Whatever the outcome is, please do not allow political ambition to put the lives and future of Osun people at risk.
I tell me by fact now that within this time we have built new schools, not in hundreds.
New schools?
Yes, new classrooms. We have built more than 200 new classrooms.
Give me 5 examples of schools in which you have built.
New classroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me an example.
Now,
in different local government.
In every local government.
Just tell me, give me 5.
There is a particular classroom, school in my local government, Ilesha. That school has already been dilapidated.
What's the name of the school?
School is in Ilesha. That school, it is the NSCDC that now use it as their base.
What's the name?
Can I remember the name?
If you can't remember the name, mention other name.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this school, when we got there, all these boys are already smoking, doing anything there. But when we got there, we make sure we brought the school back. We put fence there. If I want to mention him, I'll keep mentioning him. There is no government. Even if you tell me your street, if I check my record, I'll tell you the school that we have done there.
That's in Ilesha West.
In all Osun states.
Give me other examples. The only one you mentioned, you can't even remember the name of the school.
Because it doesn't, he's my brother. Shege is saying, but he doesn't have the capacity to think through. Hey, I love you. That's all. Privately, I pity him because if I were in his shoes, the amount of money clearly shortcomings, I will get people that can let me manage it. So that for you.
I appeal to you, your supporters, and the entire political party structure. Let the people come out freely, peacefully to vote for the candidate of their choice. If they choose you, let the victory be through their votes. If they choose someone else, let their decision be respected. Politics is temporary, but Osun will be here forever. No political victory is worth violence, destruction, or the loss of a single life. A single life. To everyone in Osun, please come out, vote peacefully, reject intimidation, and let your voice be heard. Osun is ours, the future is ours, and let peace lead the way. 4 plus 4, you want again?
A lot and a lot is about to happen, not even happening yet. That's because of what I am foreseeing or forecasting or predicting. I'm talking about Osun State, the state that is headed by no other than Mr. Jackson. You know who he is? I'm talking about Governor Adeleke, Davido's uncle. According to him, he's being persecuted by the federal government. In fact, he named Bola Ahmed Tinubu as one of the persecutors, saying, "Hey, Tinubu, you know, we have endorsed you as president, leave us alone." That's because rather than Mr. Ademola Adeleke joining APC, he decided to be a member of Accord. And maybe this is not something that Bola Ahmed Tinubu likes. So one should ask, what state do you think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from originally? Now, let's keep that aside. It is going to be a very tough battle. It's going to be a tough battle in some couple of weeks. Elections and a lot of things are coming up, and this governorship race is going to be tense. You know, 2027 is for the presidential race, while 2026, a lot of shift will happen. Mr. Ademola Adeleke is afraid. He is afraid. He knows how resolute Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be without him really doing much. Maybe just a visit. That is, if he wants to even visit Osun State, maybe he might visit Osun State and then, you know, say one or two things or whatever. But the way I'm looking at it, there's a huge possibility, a very big one, that that state will be taken away. Remember Fayose. Fayose stood his ground. And what happened to him? Till today, he cannot forget. He had to undergo surgery of the spinal cord. He is fortunate that he is walking. Remember, he screamed, "I am in pain. I am in deep pain. I am in pain. I am in deep pain." That's because security operatives were released and he was treated like ordinary, inconsequential fellow, just like any other person, the way they treat citizens in general in Nigeria. He was treated that way. Both of a gun was used on his back, on his neck. "I'm in pain, I'm in pain." And that is how it is. He lost that seat. I hope this will not become the fate of Mr. Ademola. Yeah, I hope this will not become his experience. He wants to retain that seat. Now, there are questions back and forth here and there of what value he has added to the state, which is not necessarily the decision of the presidency or of the president to decide who has performed and who should come back again. No, it is that of the citizens, the indigenous people of Osun State, to decide Those who are domiciled there, they are the ones to decide if this person will return or not. But from the look of things, they say that Ademola is just a dancer and a man who does like a moron. That's the picture they are trying to paint. I want that to sink in. That is how they see Davido's uncle, as a moron, a man who could not pass his O level, who had to go back to go and pass that, a man who visited the United States rather, stayed in there, lived there, and was dancing up and down. So some might be like he's a free-spirited person, but is that kind of person the right for that seat as a decision maker of a state? That's the question. But then, being serious is one thing. Knowing what to do is also another thing. Integrity is also very important. The talk is that Efcc decided to deal with his account, freeze the account. He said the account of the state. But they are saying that the account is on one person's name, Ademola Adeleke. Like they say, what about the account officer? What about this? What about that? Like he's in charge of all the monies that comes in. And through that account, it dispenses or pays salary or something like that. So EFCC is now saying, why? How come there is no structure? Like there should be a kind of a counterbalance. There should be a check and balance, that kind of thing. There should be a check and balance, sort of like, okay, who is watching Adeleke? The money coming in, who is watching him? Who is watching the watcher? Like there should be a check and balance. Like there should be like 3 check and balance. That's what is being said right now. Like there should be a check and balance. We want to know the inflow of money and the outflow of money. I think it is okay for that to be like, yeah, it is not a bad thing for a check and balance to be there. But could it be that he decided to do this so that he will be able to monitor and manage? I don't forget that his elder brother was governor, but he passed away, couldn't do second term. And now, wahala. Davido has decided to come in support of his uncle. They are very close. They are very close. Very, very close. And he decided to come out for uncle. But from the way I'm looking at it, Davido cannot save uncle. It's not a thing of... but they are banking on do not do violence and banking on the citizens of the state, indigenous people of that state, supporting them. And, it is a serious matter. They are hoping that the elections, they are going to monitor it. Davido said we won twice. We are going to do it again. So this reported dispute between the Ademola Adeleke and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has intensified ahead of the 2026 Osun State governorship election. From the way I'm looking at it, if care is not taken, Ademola will be kicked out. Governor Ademola will be kicked out. So his allegation is that EFCC moved to freeze Osun State government accounts just days before the election, describing the action as politically motivated and capable of disrupting governance. Maybe they did this so that he will not have access to state funds to do whatever. What then is going to happen? The alternative is for him to reach out to his elder brother, the same, Davido's father, to come in with money. Now, you might ask, why should there be money needed? Is it for the banner? Is it for to pay those who are going to avail themselves for campaign or whatever? Right? To pay for the stadium or what? Why is money, so much of it, needed? Is it to bribe people, to give people money? The FCC has reportedly maintained that its actions are part of its anti-corruption mandate and that it is aimed at safeguarding public funds, not influencing politics. That they are freezing this because they have observed certain anomalies and therefore they decide to freeze this. Adeleke's supporters and some civil society groups have accused the Tinubu administration of using federal agencies to intimidate the Osun State government, an allegation that the federal side has denied. The political atmosphere has become increasingly tense as the governorship election approaches, with both the ruling APC, federal, and Adeleke's camp Osun State, trading accusations over intimidation, vote buying, and abuse of state institutions. At this stage, the allegations of political interference remain disputed. There has not been a judicial finding establishing that President Tinubu directed the Efcc actions. Of course, it is not going to be found. The competing claims are part of an ongoing political and legal controversy, and accusations flying right and left. One saying, "Oh, my people are being unalived, they are being arrested. Members of our court are being arrested. They are trying to destabilize. They are trying to be this. They are trying to be that." The Adeleke case do not in any way like APC. They don't, for one reason or the other, they just cannot be part of it. And I do not blame. I do not blame. It's not just going to work. It's not going to work. I do not blame. But then you have to understand politics. I do not blame. That's because he could not have, embraced APC. Recall that prior to this, he was a part of a different party and he was opposing. So the only common sense is if the party that brought him in is not going to take him to where he's heading to, he just needs to join another party and make use of his own position as governor of the state. Bola Tinubu will do the same. Bola Tinubu will do the same. He will stay rugged. I'm seeing him fighting to finish, but returning is not what I'm sure